I'm very happy to see you all here today. Welcome to our Expats in Business meeting. Today we are going to have a very interesting agenda for you. We're going to have our guest speaker take us through a session where he's going to talk about operations management.
And thank you for coming. This is our 12th session, second guest speaker session, and we have a series of sessions waiting for the guest speaker sessions, as well as we are planning for a separate. So if the name says Expats in Business, it's not only for expats, but mostly we were targeting expats.
Now I think it's the most important part and the basis of our meeting. We have Vardan here today with us, an expert, part of our Expats in Business.
What is operation management? It is administration of business structure, practices, process to create highest level of efficiency and optimize profit. Planning is the most important phase. So data will help you do all the analysis.
I'm very happy to see you all here today. Welcome to our Expats in Business meeting, the guest session speaker. Today we are going to have a very interesting agenda for you. We're going to start with an introduction from our lead for the Expats in Business. He's the person who started this initiative. He's the person who is leading us right now towards doing it. Then we are going to have a small introduction from the person who is sponsoring us, Paulina, in this really great place and all of the support that she gave us. And then of course we're going to have our guest speaker who's going to take us through a session where he's going to talk about operations management. After that, we're going to have a Q&A session where we, and of course you, are going to ask any questions that you have for our speaker, and you will get your answers. At the end, after this session, you will have the chance to network among each other and talk in the topics that you are interested in. So first, can I welcome Z, please?
So I know most of you, first of all, and I'm really panicked. I didn't expect this many number of people here. And thank you for coming for the session. And this is our 12th session and second guest speaker session. And we have a series of sessions waiting for the guest speaker sessions, as well as we are planning for a separate session along with Paulina in the Cultural Center for cultural kind of events as well. So last time I was explaining why did we start this session and the mission and vision. I see a lot of new faces, so that I am not going to repeat the whole thing, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So the name says Expats in Business, so it's not only for expats, but mostly we were targeting expats, but we were foreigners here, so that we wanted to also bring these expats together and do something different. And we are coming from different countries. We wanted to show our cultures to the world. So I'm from Sri Lanka, and I just wanted to also talk about Sri Lanka and then bring people, bring different brands, products and stuff like that from Sri Lanka to here, as well as do the same. Doesn't matter it is Polish, something that we are taking back to Sri Lanka, or like from a different country. We just wanted to replicate the same because we have a lot of people from different countries. So far for the sessions, we have people from about 20-30 countries, and we have more than 200 people that have registered. For the group, we have about 1,200 people on Messenger group, and then also on WhatsApp groups, etc. Now what we are trying to do is strategize our session. So along with that, we changed the session types, the focus to bring on guest speakers so that we get value for the people who is here. And also in the meantime, we wanted something back from them, we wanted them to collaborate with us. We wanted to bring this into a next level, bring on opportunities for each one of you, and couple of people are already collaborating. We are trying to make things better. You will see some upcoming events, as I said, about the cultural event. Then there's some other event that I'm not going to talk many details at the moment, but we are discussing about this information. So soon we will come up with that one as well. So I don't want to take much more time, because let's network, let's connect with people. With that, I will stop. Chaima, it's up to you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right now, as I said, the sponsor for this great place, Paulina, please, can you join us?
It's not my place, but I'm really happy. Hello, everyone. I'm Paulina. I'm a coordinator of the Multicultural Center in Krakow. And I will want to just tell you briefly who we are, because I don't know any of you, so probably also never been here and never heard about us. So we are city co-founded project run by IB Poland Foundation. Foundation exists in Poland for 20 years. We do different kind of projects, starting from education, support for disabled people, elderly people. In general, we work with the people who are, because of some reason, are marginalized. And since 2021, we are operator of the Multicultural Center in Krakow, which is the place for you. It's the place dedicated to Krakowians, to people who live in Krakow, foreigners as well, because our city is very multicultural, and we are a place where people can meet. That's our goal. We want to be a space where people with different ideas, different initiatives, they come and they organize their events, like this, for example. We run different kind of activities dedicated to Krakowians, starting from the language courses, conversation clubs, walks around the city in different languages, and other events. You can find more information about us on our Facebook. I really encourage you to follow us. And I would just want to add one more thing, because the Multicultural Center focus more on the cultural and language exchange and development, but we also have an information point for foreigners, which is a place where everyone can come and ask all kinds of questions. If they are more complicated, we have a free lawyer, legal advice. We have psychological support. So this is the place for people who are moving to Krakow, who are in Krakow, and they have some questions and they don't know where to go, like if they want to do something in some bureaucracy, legalize their state. There is the place. We have consultants. They speak 4 languages. We operate in Polish, English, Ukrainian, Russian. If there are some languages that they are needed, we always look for someone to support us, for some volunteers. I left some information about us on the table there, so during the networking you can grab our leaflets, and I really encourage you to follow us, and we are very open. If you have any initiative, any idea that you would like to organize, but maybe you don't have a space or you need some extra promotion, this is the place for you. Everything is for free here. Sponsored by City of Krakow, not by me. I just work here, but I'm very happy to have more people familiar with the project, and thanks to that we can also develop. Thank you very much and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
And thank you for the City of Krakow for giving us this. Okay, so right now I think it's the most important part and the basis of our meeting, the operations in management. We have Vardan here today with us, an expert, part of our Expats in Business group and regular attendees. He has 23 years of experience in many fields, and he is truly a strong asset for us. We are very happy, and we thank you a lot for giving us the time and sharing your experience in operation management with everyone here. I hope all of you are going to benefit from this, and I hope it's going to be helpful for you.
Hi everyone, I'm Vardan. So let me introduce. Okay, so I have not 23, I have 25 years of experience in IT. I started long time back in India, and so I've worked for companies like GE, IBM, WNS, and Cognizant. Recently, for last 14 years, I have been working with a company called Yash Technologies. I'm working with them as an assistant vice president. So I have worked with some big clients like GE Aircraft Engine. I worked with Caterpillar, John Deere, Sandvik, Merck, Delaval, managed some big deliveries, big operations for established their development centers in India. I've managed multi-million dollar accounts as well, managed around 700 people in India as well. So that is my overall journey as such, what I have done in past, and here also I'm helping my organization to grow. And met these guys when Z created this forum, so that is how I got in touch with him, and I'm happy that they asked me to present as a guest speaker. Hopefully I will be able to do a good job. And I even past in India also, I have helped some startups, some small companies when they were facing challenges in operations. So I was helping them to grow, because most of the time people usually start and they are not sure how to run the operation. So I was helping them in India as well. I was also invited by University of Economics to deliver lecture on management. So that is the journey I have at this point of time. Thank you. So agenda, what is operational management? Key functions, roles and responsibility, failure reasons, key skills, what operation manager should have, and one of the thing which I really like is difference between a manager and a leader. So please stop me if you have any questions. Please stop me. Please ask questions if you have. So what is operation management? If anyone can, it is pretty straightforward. If anyone can answer, maybe anyone.
So it's planning the operation, managing, planning something that you have to do.
Yes.
Probably do as many small steps as you can.
Correct. That is right. That is right. So it is administration of business structure, practices, process to create highest level of efficiency and maximize profit. So we ensure that the business structures are created, it is more process oriented, then the practices are followed, best practices are followed, and then we which will help us to improve the efficiency. As a result, it will help organization to maximize their profit. It is also designing control of production of goods and services that ensures businesses are efficiently running and using the resources to meet the customer requirement. So we ensure that whatever we have, we are using it effectively. The resources, we are using resources effectively to ensure that the production is maximized, and we provide the value to the customer. So most important part is value to the customers. So key functions of management planning, as you said, planning is the most important phase. I believe if you do a good job in planning, you ensure that your projects, your operation, everything is successful, because during this phase you are not only just creating the structure, you are coming up with the cost, the processes, how I will run the operation. You actually decide, you come up, and I believe you should be passionate about your work, and then only you will do good job in planning. And if planning is done properly, you will succeed most of the time. Organizing, so once you have done the planning, you tend to see how many resources are required, what materials are required, what infrastructure are required, and where I should run my operations. So you start organizing all that. You start getting the resources on board, you start getting the places, you start ensuring that the things are organized before you start the operations. So this is organizing. Directing, once things are organized and you start running the operations, you ensure that as a manager, as a person who is who is in charge of operations, you start directing the team, your people, who are the resources, who might be doing production, who might be doing like they are in factories or they are in your small businesses, people, that this is how the unit to work. You tell them, you guide them, you help them, you define the goals for them, and you help them to succeed. Even if certain time you need to train them, you train them as well. Coordinating, so it is certain time it is required to coordinate with multiple groups, not only within your team. You might have to interact with like finance team, you might have to interact with customers, you might have to interact with HR, you might have to interact with the administration team. So it is a most important aspect where if you are not doing a good job in coordinating, you might fail, because you need support from multiple team in running the operation. So even if you are running a small cafe or restaurant or anything, still you have to coordinate with a lot of people, because you need the like raw materials, glasses, or certain other things, like for coffee beans or certain things. So you have to coordinate with a lot of things. So you have to make a good relationship with all these guys to ensure that the coordination goes well. Reporting is, I believe, it helps you to ensure that because you would have defined the certain standards, goals for you during the planning phase. Now when you are running the operations, so now this is the time where you start reporting whether you are meeting the set goals, whether you are exceeding goals, whether you have provided the value to the customer, how you are running the operations. You start reporting it to all the stakeholders. It might be your customers, it might be your team, it might be client, it might be anyone. So whatever operations you are running, so you should report. The reporting is one of the key aspects, because it tells the health of your operation. And if you are doing good, it shows that you are doing, reporting will showcase, and it will help to build the confidence with client. And if there are challenges, you will come to know, and you can take the corrective steps. But the key aspect still, I believe, is important is planning. If you are doing a really fantastic job in planning, you are addressing the risk upfront, you are analyzing the risk, you are you ensure that the proper plans are placed, there is a process in place. You will, most of the time when you come to this reporting stage, you will always see it is in green if you do a good job in planning phase. Budgeting, this is again, once you create the report, you will come to know what was the budget which was allotted to you, whether the operations is running within the budget, whether you are maximizing the profit or not. So everything again goes back to planning and organizing phase, where if you have done a good job there, then you will get good result. As a result, your budget and forecasting will also look good. Any question anyone has on this key functions of reporting?
I have a question. So if we have to look at the key functions, is there anyone which you can mention the most crucial?
Of all these?
Yes.
Planning. So planning, as I said earlier, if you do a good job in planning, because like as it is said, good start, half done. So if you do a good job in planning, because this is the phase where you are doing everything, like how I will run the operations. You're getting, if you're working with the customer, you're getting all the information from the customer. You're getting all this information, like what I need to run the operation. You are doing that job here. So if I'm working with people, so how many people I need. If I'm running a cafe, what I need to run a cafe, like what should be the look and feel of my cafe, how will people get attracted to my cafe, why will people come to my cafe. If I'm running a manufacturing unit, what I need to run a manufacturing unit, how many machineries I need, what kind of machinery I need. Everything you are doing in this phase, planning phase. As a result, you create a plan, like you come up with the timelines, like when I will meet my when I will start my operation, what are my milestones, how will I achieve them, what are the processes I will follow, because every operations, whether any operations you run, irrespective whether you are in IT, accounting, or anything, you have to need to have a process. So you define those processes, how I'll run the operations. If you do a good job there, as I said, most of the things you will not face challenges in rest of the things. So I believe planning, because most important aspect is plan and identify the risk. So once one of my leader, so he was presenting, and he said you should always have most important aspect of management is risk management, and if you have a backup plan for a backup plan, you will never fail. So I still remember, it is like 20 years back when he told me this. He didn't told me, he was telling to a forum. So I still remember that. So this is the phase where you will have risk. You still have risk in each and every phase. But most of the risk, if you are able to foresee in the planning phase, and take corrective and mitigate those risks, corrective steps and mitigate those risks, you'll do a good job. Any?
All of these key functions can be applied to any type of
Yes,
company,
yes,
small, medium,
yes. So because you will do everything. See, even if you're running a, like I said, I helped the startup. So startup was like 5 people company. So they why they were struggling was they didn't had any plans in place. So they started the operations, they started the they were into logistic, last mile, and they wanted to use IT. So they had guys who were in IT, but they said that okay, we'll get the requirements, and they because people were their counterparts in US who was telling them what to build, but it was not organized. They didn't plan for it. They didn't had like, oh, you give me the requirements, I will give you this module by tomorrow. That is not how it is. You will not be able to deliver a module tomorrow. You need time. You need to organize. You cannot force people to just work blind day in and day out. So it has to, and otherwise you are bound to fail. Things will not be correct. There will be problems. There will be issues. You will have all the time. You will have challenges. Any other question?
Be a part of these key functions.
Yes, I will come to that. But technology will always be be key, irrespective of the business you are operating. You like other day I was talking to one guy and he was saying I'm an architect, building architect, and AI is killing my job. So AI soon will take my job. So I was telling him that AI will not take your job. So if you use AI as a technology which is your friend, so it will not take your job, it will enhance your business, so it will help you out. So use technology, use softwares, use application. There are a lot of tools available nowadays for each, and like if you are running even a cafe, you need a tool to for your financial management. There are a lot of tools in India, like we have Tally, you would have heard. So which helps if you are not a big company, you use Tally for your accounting purposes. You have an accountant, but still you use Tally for your operations, running operations and all. So irrespective of the business you are running, you should use technology, because now there are a lot of free tools available, a lot of tools which are very cheap, and it helps you to it helps you in multiple ways, ensure that the operations go smooth, you're on track, you can track your systems, you can track your operation, and it helps you in all the way. Okay, let me go to the next one. Roles and responsibility. Okay, as I said, so create goals and objectives. So we define the goals, what are we going to achieve, the objectives in the planning phase itself, which is the most important phase. Like based on that, we execute our plans, we run the operations. So this is one of the important thing. Create schedule. As I said, once you have the plan in place, you have goals in place, you have objectives in place, you create a schedule, you create when I'm going to, how much production I'm going to achieve in next 1 month. If in IIT, like how many modules I will deliver, what I'm going to deliver in next 15 days. If I am let us say running a cafe, how much volume of money I need to make to sustain, that should be my goal. How will I achieve? That is the goals you create, how the objectives plan you do. So based on that, you create the schedule of executing the operations. Develop strategy to increase performance, productivity and efficiency. Ensure compliance with company policies and industry regulations. So this is one of the key aspects. If there are a lot of things available now to do audits, and you can create your own rules as well based on your processes. You don't need to even, there are a lot of companies who are doing audits like EY and all big companies, they charge a lot. But if you can create your own compliance, your own process, like audit processes, you will be pretty successful. Then you don't need to go to them. Because they will charge a lot. They are charging huge amount of money. So if you have identified your processes, it is much easy to define those audit processes as well, based on which it will tell the health of your operations, and it will even give you the corrective and the preventive steps as well, and you will be pretty successful. So this is one of the important phase, but you need to still know what you are going to audit, what are the compliances and industry regulations. It will help you in multiple ways. Mentor and train employees. This is one of the key. If you are not mentoring and training your employees, you are bound to fail. So people who runs your operation, who are actually ensuring that you are profitable, you look good in front of customers, you are doing things properly, they are the employees. They are the most important people in your whole operation, because if you are not training them properly, if you are not motivating them properly, if they are not happy, you will not succeed. So what I believe is the employees are the key aspects, one of the key aspects of the operations. So you should always ensure your team members, your employees are always happy. If there are any challenges, you address those to ensure that your operation goes smooth. Monitor budget, productivity levels and performance. So this is what I've talked about. So if you have a budget in place, you should have some processes to monitor how much budget I have utilized, how much is left, whether I'm making profit. If I'm making profit, can I use that profit in my business to maybe, and if I'm using it, in how much time will I be able to recover and make more profit? So that is something you do the budgeting and forecasting. Productivity level, if I'm, let us say, in the operation side like manufacturing, how much I am producing, can I increase my production? If I'm in IT, how much I'm delivering to the customers, how many, let us say most of the people will talk about user stories, certain people will talk about the sprints, how much the productivity level is going up, am I delivering more to the customer, am I, so actually is the productivity level really going up or not? So you need to measure that. Even the, like if you have accounting, am I getting more customers? So if is my team able to do like all the accounting thing with, let us say they started with 5, now are they able to complete in less time? So that is a productivity level you need to monitor, and the performance of your team members you need to monitor. So these are the key responsibilities. Resolve any customer related problems. So if there are any challenges, and certain time customers might be wrong, they might say that they might escalate, but you need to have data to ensure that you resolve those issues. If there is a challenge at your end, you need to ensure that you rectify those challenges and provide and ensure that the problems are resolved. For me, this is the key aspect. Can someone talk about this, providing value to the customer? How will you ensure that you provide value? And this is the most, the 2 key aspects from 3 key aspects is setting the goals and objectives, then mentoring and training team or your employees, and third is providing value to the customers. So can anyone talk about like what is the value, what does value mean, and how you will provide value to the customer?
Quality of our services. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of quality of our services, and it means how our client will tell about us for other person. It will be like a silent recommendation or something.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if I'm right.
Let me give example from your area of work, which is your the real estate.
Yeah.
So you are helping people to buy apartment, rent apartment.
Yes.
So your job is to help them. If they have a requirement, you help them to get the apartment.
Yeah.
But if there are any additional things they need, so they might have come from a different country, you help them in multiple ways to get adjusted in that environment. So they will feel good.
Yes.
And they will come to you. They will come to you again, and they will recommend you. So that is the additional thing which you are providing. You are only responsible to provide them the apartment. and charge for and basically take money.
Yeah, it's my job.
That is your
but-
job.
Yeah,
but additionally, if you're providing them the value by maybe they might have challenge in talking to people because they might not be Polish. So you tell them where is Zepka and how to get groceries.
Yeah, when they
maybe
can.
certain other things if you can provide them.
Yes,
That
true.
is a value to the customer, and they will again come back to you. Maybe after a year, if they want to move out from the current apartment to a new apartment, they will
Yeah.
come to you.
The history from yesterday, my customer, she just hugged me because she told me that, oh, I'm so happy that I just met you, right? So because someone recommended me,
Exactly.
and yeah, and she's happy that I can just help her with, I don't know, the PESEL or
Yes, exactly.
make the services all lawyer, because I know just the Polish lawyer, but also maybe here are also the person from other countries, and they exactly know how to do this in other countries, because I don't have thing like that. I mean that I have no idea how law going on India, but I can even ask you, and you can help to make translate what is,
Yes.
for example, the difference between law in Poland and law in India, to make more understood what is the difference and how it's going on in Poland.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that is that you're right. So
Yeah.
if we actually provide that value to the customer, and I can give you my example as well. In one of our engagement, we started with 70 people way back in 2016, and we were taking over from some big companies like Deloitte and Accenture. So when you get into that zone where you are taking over from Deloitte, Accenture, people are always looking at you. Why these guys? Why not Accenture and Deloitte? So what we did, we provided value to the customer. Not only did we were supposed to solve their problems, we were supposed to provide them the tickets, solve their tickets, solve their production issues or some certain things. But we started started providing value in form of monetary value, in some form of saving their time. So if our team member had bandwidth, we started doing their development work. There were processes which were defined in certain technology, which were getting redundant. We redefined those processes in new technology. We moved them to a new technology without charging them. So we were supposed to do certain job. On top of it, we provided additional things to them. As a result, they were happy, and we were immediately, within no time, we were able to grow to 350 people. So it was a big achievement which we did just by providing value. So this is, I believe, these four things, like creating good, like planning, which is your creating goals and objective, and even scheduling will come into planning. Team, risk identification, and providing value to the customer. If you do a good job there, you will definitely succeed for sure. Any question anyone has in this roles and responsibility?
Yes. So you mentioned
All the members are not supposed to ask questions. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So you briefly mentioned about using data. So
Using what? Sorry,
data.
data.
Yes.
Okay.
So what role does data play in operational decision making?
So you get. So let us take an example. So you are getting the data, right? Whatever, like how many machines I have produced, how much, what is my, to increase my productivity, you need data. So let us say today I am producing 5 machines. Can I, in a day, okay, can I produce maybe more or less? Okay, with that data you will do the analysis. If I am failing, if I have set my target, if my goal is to produce 5 machines in a day, okay, if I am not able to achieve that goal, why am I failing? I have to do that analysis. Okay, if I do the analysis, I will find out the reason, root cause. Okay, I do the RC, I found the root cause, and I take the corrective steps. Now, can I go to that 5 level, or I didn't do a good job during planning phase. I set some target which was not, I couldn't achieve. Okay, now should I go back to 4 or 3? Is that the right target? So data will help you do all the analysis and tell you whether you are doing a good job or not. and whether you can actually grow further or not. And so with all that data, you will be able to do that. So you should always use data and do the audit on top of that data, do the analysis, do the root causing, and you will grow.
You little bit talk about compliance, but can you please explain what it is?
So as he said, so during the planning phase, there are a lot of things you can do on compliance, okay? Because there are certain set procedures. So you run a IT company, small IT company for yourself. So there are certain compliance, audit compliance already available, which you can use. But I would recommend that you define your compliance and audit processes yourself. How you will do that, you will define a process of your operations, like executing your operations. These are the 5 things I will do to run my operations. Now there are these steps, whatever I am doing, you will put an audit check whether I am doing this correctly or not, whether I am doing the second step correctly or not. These are the compliance, these are the audit processes which you will define for yourself and check at each and every step whether what is the issue. If there is an issue, what is the issue? If I am doing a good job, how I am doing the good job? Can I increase my productivity? And that will only come with the data. You have to collect that data, do that analysis, do that audit to ensure that you are compliant. And there are certain standards, like you are doing coding. So there are certain standards which you follow, correct? So are you following those standards or the things? There are ISO compliant. There's CMM level 5 or level compliance. So which company has said? Am I following those? ISO standards are following. There are SAS and SOX audits in data centers. So those compliance, am I following those compliance or not? So these are the big terms. I will not get into that, but am I actually following those compliance, and audit has to be done on those compliance.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, let me go to the next one. Failure. So maybe you guys can talk about the failure reasons, if anyone can talk about failure reasons. Budget is one of the important reason. You talked about lack of planning. Lack of? Yes. So planning, as you said, it is right. Lack of planning is if you don't plan your things properly, you don't identify risks, you don't have a proper processes in place, you are bound to fail. Then people, as I said, team members, your employees are the key. So if they are not happy, they feel as if like they are not wanted, then they are bound to leave, and you will replace with that the knowledge what they had gained, the investment you had done in them to train them, that will also go away. So if people leave, it is a loss for you. It is not loss for them, because they will find a job outside, or they will move, so they will open something else. But if they goes, that knowledge, that experience goes away. So it is important that you should keep your people happy. Processes. If you don't have a processes in place, I'm producing a machinery, but I don't have a process to produce that machinery. So then whatever the output is required will never be correct. If I'm supposed to manufacture a shirt, and there are certain things which are identified upfront, these are my requirements, and you define those processes, like this is how the shirt will be manufactured. If you don't have a proper processes, you will not be able to produce correctly. System. So where is that guy? So he talked about the technology. System talks about using technology. If you are not using it correctly, you will fail. So if you are using any technology in your business, so you need to ensure you identify whether it will be useful. You do some analysis upfront before you invest in that system or technology. External events, it is like it can be earthquake, flood, or anything of that sort. which you cannot foresee, which you cannot predict, which will have an impact on your overall operations. It can be riots in your city, your country. It can be anything. Okay, any question on failure reasons? Yeah.
So as you mentioned the failure reasons, so I would like to know, like, I'm here as someone who's starting a new company, so as I will be working, say like supplying some European products to Africa.
Supplying, sorry, what?
Some European products, let's say cooking oil,
Okay.
fats and everything.
Mhm.
So I would like to know which points I mean like.
So you need some business
advice,
consultation.
like no, I mean like it's
So I will charge for that.
No. I will consider that, no problem.
No, so see, as simple as like if you're supplying oil or any food product to anyone, so you need to plan things properly, like what I'm going to, and first for me, if you really ask me, you should be passionate about your work first important thing. If you're not passionate, you will not succeed. Then if you don't plan, like what I'm going to supply, how much volume, okay, if there is a challenge in your planning phase itself, you will fail. So if you have to coordinate, then important piece will be you will be working with people in Africa as well, out here as well. There should be some coordination, like there should be some understanding. So coordination is important. Then costing, another aspect will be costing. You need to ensure that you are like certain people will give you at a higher rate. You need to go to the market, do a good study there, identify this product who is giving at a cheaper rate. Maybe go to a remote village or something. Now then you come to me and I will help you out.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
That was all.
So but there are multiple other aspects, but again as I said, if you go back and if you do a good job here, your roles and responsibility, you do follow all these things, as I said, you will succeed. Let me go to the next one. Key skills. Visionary thinker. So operation manager should be a visionary thinker. So he should vision and he should share that vision with the team, anticipate the trends and help team to grow. So he should be a visionary thinker. Then inspirational communication. So communication is the key. You should be able to communicate with all the people, all the stakeholders with whom you are working. If you don't have a good communication skills, you will fail because you will not be able to communicate the vision. You will not be able to delegate work. You will not be able to communicate with the team. You will not be able to like present your whatever you have achieved to the customers, to the stakeholders, everyone. So communication, I believe, is another key aspect. Innovative problem solving. So this is one of the feature. As I said, like I was giving one example where one of our clients, they were obsoleting their process. We migrated from their older technology to the new technology. We even helped them to reduce their production time, their factory production time from let me take another example, easy example. If I'm running an accounting process, I'm using Excel. I've written macros in Excel and which is running and helping me to generate reports. So instead of running all those on Excel, can I use technology like RPA, robotic process automation, or maybe create certain tools which will help me to enhance my overall process. Like it will help me to generate reports pretty quickly. So maybe identify, maybe you have to be a thinker to come up with certain problem solving solutions, innovative. So that will help you to increase your productivity efficiency as well. Empowerment. Good leader will empower the team. He will ensure that he trains, he mentors the team and empowers them. If you're doing too much of micromanagement, you're checking with each and everyone, what is the status, why you haven't completed, or why there is a challenge with the production, why the shipment hasn't gone. There will be issues, but if you're talking to them after every few minutes, after every few hours, they will feel irritated. You need to empower them. You need to ensure you have to build. You need to trust them. You need to build that trust to ensure that they feel at home. They do good job for you. So this is, as I said, team members is the key aspect. Any questions on key skills? Thank you. Okay, this is one of the important thing which I always like. So can anyone tell me what is the difference between a manager and a leader?
Leader is someone who does the job on the front of the team and gives an example.
Mm-hmm.
And a manager is more someone who is dispatching certain things.
You're pretty right. You're pretty right. So manager coordinates, strategize, oversee resources to meet specific targets. So they concentrate on supervising individuals, streamlining procedures, and but what leader will do? He will do everything, but he will ensure that the team is always motivated. He will ensure that the team is empowered. He will mentor them. He will train them. He will groom them and ensure that whatever manager is doing, he's doing the same job, but he's ensuring that the team they feel that they have learned something, their knowledge is increasing, they are growing in the organization. So leader will create more leaders. Managers will not create more managers because he will be always afraid of losing his job. Okay, that's all. I have any question you have for me, I can answer.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I think today in this presentation we learned a lot of things, but among those, our key aspects for us to learn how to be or how to run our operations smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everything comes back to us.
Yes.
So we are the people who are going to start the business. We need to have the skills of planning. We need to have key criterias in our let's say personality or in our soft skills. What do you think are the most critical for us? And another thing, do you think any person can be a leader or can start something, or you need to be actually born as a leader to be able to run your operations and be successful for that?
So you are right. So you need to have a mindset to become a leader. So not everyone can become a leader. So you need to ensure that you are a good thinker. You have good communication skills. You plan things properly to ensure that whatever you are talking about, like key aspects. So like as I said here, if you are following all these, like you are visionary, you have good communication skills, you are if you have a problem, you have innovative ideas to solve those problems, you empower team. So if you have all that, you will become a good leader. You will run the operations properly, but not everyone will become a good leader, because that is why there are a lot of managers, then few leaders. To get to that level, you need to change your mindset from that management manager thought process and get into that leader thought process, and then things will be fine.
So I guess if it's too late for you and you do not have the skills to be a leader, you can always hire one. So I think it's the end of the session. Again, it's our chance actually to learn from Vardan today. If you have any other questions, please shoot it.
More about the budgeting, making the budget, like for the company, how it works.
So budget, it is like when you are in the planning phase, you identify what will be my budget, how much money I need to run the operations. Okay, so you decide that budget to run the operations. Now, once you have decided the budget, now each and every phase, like you start, like you have freelancers working for you. You tell them that this is my budget. You tell them this is how much I'm going to pay you. Now each and every phase, like you have started the development, how much I'm paying to them, whether everything is within budget. So you start setting up the milestone for you, because after every month they will come to you and ask for money. am I meeting my budget? Am I within my budget? Am I making profit? Is my product going out to the market? Am I making profit or not? So then you start analyzing, you start doing that on analysis, and as a result you will figure out whether the budget which you had defined is correct or not. And if I need more budget, then why? What is the reason? With that data which you will get when you do the analysis, you can do all that research and come up with whether you need less or more, or you should be having the same budget. But each and every should set the milestone during the planning phase where you do the checks, you have checks in place for budgeting.
I wanted to ask about some examples based on your true story, this.
So budget. So I come from IT. So we have projects, and so when we start any account or any projects, so we tell client how much money they will have to pay. So when you start, we have certain milestones in place, like let us take very old example of IT, like you have planning, you have requirements, you have development, you have testing and all. So how much money am I utilizing each and every phase of my development, of my requirements and all. So you set that milestone. By this phase I should be able to utilize this much amount of money, by this phase I will be able to utilize this much amount of money, and you track that. There are a lot of tools available nowadays for tracking purposes, for doing that costing, how much money you will need to run your show, run the project, how much money you need to charge. So there are tools available, you can use those, and the tracking is important, that each and every phase, like if I am running a manufacturing unit, how much money I am utilizing in producing a vehicle, and because there are certain steps you will follow to produce a vehicle, then in each and every phase what is the budget getting utilized, by the end whether I will have the money or not. So if you do the analysis in each and every phase at certain milestone, you will come to know about your budget.
How much time you spend?
It varies. Based on your if it is big project, big engagement, small engagement, it varies from engagement to engagement, project to project. If you are running a cafe, you might have a different mechanism to do the budgeting, costing. But if you're running a big operations, you will have a different. So it varies. There is no fixed criteria.
So can I go? I have two questions, tricky ones though.
So then don't ask.
Yeah, come on. I wanted to put you in trouble. So one question is, running a group like this, there's always risk, right? Also, it's not organization. Running a group like this, it's always a risk also, because we don't know the people. They are from different countries, different laws, etc. Right? But we wanted to still do it. Thinking about a risk factor, how would you kind of have a mitigation plan? Thinking about different aspects, what would you do differently?
So there are for risk management also, there are tools available right now in market. So you can use those tools. So because risk management is a big concept, okay, so I won't be able to explain it completely right now, but at a high level what I can say is, when I am doing the planning, as I said, you need to foresee all the risks. Like if I am running a manufacturing unit, what are the risks attached to it? Like people, there would be a risk with people leaving the organization. There will be risk with the budget, like am I utilizing the budget properly, am I going overshooting my budget or underutilizing my budget. So there will be always a risk with each and every phase, with each and everything which you do in operations. If you are running an IT company, so if you are not taking requirements properly, there is a risk. If I am producing a car, if I haven't created a proper design, there is a risk. So if you identify those risks, have a mitigation plan. So there is a thing called contingency plans as well. So if you have a mitigation plans, that is why I said have a backup plan in place. Always you should have a backup plan in place. Backup plan for a backup plan, tremendous if you can do that. So if you identify the risk properly upfront, because you will do a good job. But when you start the operation, you need to ensure you are still doing the risk analysis. you are still identifying the risk during operations, and you will see still there are risks which you might not have identified upfront. So once you and if you foresee those risks during the running of your operations, you can still fix those challenges. So it might be like, let me take a simple example. You are supporting some applications. You might not know that these are on some older technologies. Now it is a risk. If you don't support those applications, your support will not work. You will want to fail. So what will you do? So maybe in certain cases your technology is pretty old, now you will not be able to get people, but you need more people. So you hire one guy, you train maybe freshers or juniors, so that, because not, if you ask maybe a senior guy who is pretty technical, he will not want to work on that technology. So you have to identify risk in each and every phase. If you are able to identify, if I am running a cafe, I will have risk as well. So while running the operations as well, so what are the risks? If I am, let us say, selling coffee, if I am not able to sell coffee because of some reasons, identified those reasons, what are the risks involved in selling those coffee? Like I have to follow certain standards and all. So if I don't do that, then what is the backup? If I don't have people to sell coffee, what will I do? Whether can I sell all the coffee, these coffees myself? So identify these risks upfront, and then during the operation time also you keep identifying the risks, and you will be successful.
I have one more question. So which is like, we have networking sessions and stuff like that most often, but connecting it with your topic, right? Like, how would you advise someone how to take like something out of someone, like, how to do a proper negotiation? Because I know you met a lot of people and you had good connections and you were connecting people to me as well. Like, what would you do differently than someone who is like, with your experience, for an example, what would you do differently with your experience that you have to connect with? Like, for an example, I found an accounting person. Now I wanted to get some service, but I'm still like, I don't know what I'm gonna ask or something like that. So what would you do differently?
So so there are a lot of forums, similar forums running in Krakow itself, and you know that.
Yeah, for sure.
So why would a person come to your forum? Why will a person come to your event? What is the value he will get? So we talked about value to the customer. So they are customers, you can treat them as a customer. Why will a person come to your forum? What is the value they are getting out of it? By coming here, is there a knowledge getting enhanced? Are they like, if I want to start some business, is someone going to help me to start my operations? If I need some accounting guy, and I have already interacted with 10 people, they are charging me a lot. And few days back we were talking about, Bautik mentioned that, or you mentioned, I don't know, that you can register your company and you don't need to pay anything, and everything is in English. So you go to, I don't know where you need to go to, but and everything, you can go there, people speak in English, they will help you out to register your company. And if you go to an accountant, he will charge you a lot. So if people are getting value from these sessions, they're getting some knowledge, they're getting help. He talked about exporting food products to Africa. So if you are able to help him build that connection, how will he actually export those food products in Africa? Maybe you can guide him, or someone who can help him out. So that way your overall the forum will grow. The people will want to come. Otherwise, it will be any other forum where people will come, sit for a while, have some coffee or beers, and maybe next time they will not appear. So you have written all these questions earlier? You came up with all these questions, just...
No. So can you share, please, an example of a significant operational challenge that you faced?
Okay,
and how did you resolve it?
Okay, let me think. This is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave you one example where, so two examples I gave you actually. One was where we were taking over from some big giants like Accenture and Deloitte. So getting into their shoes, it is not easy. It is not easy because they have they're big. So getting into that, we were facing a lot of challenges. And the only way we were able to resolve was we had a good processes in place. Okay, so if, as I said earlier also, if you have good processes in place, you will succeed and you will be able to make name. So so challenges was like getting into Accenture, replacing Accenture and Deloitte, and maybe making name for ourselves, growing our business. That was a big challenge. It was not that easy, but we were always focused. We had processes, we had good plans in place. If you do a good job there, then you will succeed. Other challenge like I talked about was resources. We came to know that we have to support certain application in some old technology. Now to get resources who are able to execute, who are able to support, it is a challenge. Now you need people, but you have to somehow come up with a solution, like maybe train someone, mentor someone, guide, maybe provide some training to them. So you have to ensure that you come based on the challenges which you encounter, you always have some solution around it. So you have to think about it. You should be a good thinker to resolve all these challenges. First job I started in India, in Delhi. So I started in a very small company. So I started way back in 1999, and we were just 5 people company. So that is how I started in IT. As I was a developer, when I was Visual Basic developer at that time. Moved to ASP, .NET, Java, and all those technologies. Then I got into management. Then I worked with GE, IBM, Cognizant, and now Yash Technologies. So that is how the journey started, with small company to certain big companies, and from there I started growing. And so I was lucky enough to have good managers or good leaders, I would say, who mentored me, and that is why I still feel if you mentor your team, you will also grow, and they are also doing good. So that is my journey. That is my background. It is.
Like from IT to management.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Any more questions? Okay, so thank you very much,
Thank you.
Vardan. It was really such an interesting session for all of us. I personally learned a lot. I just want to finish up with a few points. I want to thank you all for coming here, for joining us. I hope that this was helpful for you, because this was our intention. I just want to add some few points. We are having these sessions, like the speaker sessions that happen once in a month. We have also regular sessions that are networking sessions, just to connect, and it is similarity for what we are going to go for right now. Means this session ended, so you will all go find your, future partner, business partner, sorry, or could you business partner, or investor, or even like a friend. And something else we are planning in the future, which was a need that our guests like you has actually raised to us, for finding people who are responsible in taxation, or specialists and experts in accounting, or legal matters, or registrations of companies. We have upcoming sessions with people who are actually knowledgeable about this, and people who are coming from the government. So we welcome you, of course, to come. You can get used to this to actually start your job. And of course, the whole team here can support, whether by finding sponsors, investors, or just with the information, or to support you in any way that we can. We thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and we wish to see you again. Thank you.
You guys, we have snacks over there, drinks, so feel free to take anything and talk to anyone.